Hello everybody. I have basically wanted to film the cleaning of the interior of my Lexus for nearly a month now, and unfortunately the weather has not wanted to play ball. It has been raining off and on for the last 4 weeks, which has made cleaning essentially impossible. However, I have been itching to get something done, so today we are going to be reupholstering the chair or seat. This is the front passenger side. And as you can see, things are not looking too great. Got a nice, beautiful mystery stain. I don't even really want to know what that is. But anyway, should be pretty simple. Just gotta pop the cushion off, put the new cover on, and call it a day. Enough jibber jabber, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we have to do is we need to remove this plastic around the base of the chair. Pretty simple. What we have to do is we have to remove these switches for the seat controls, and then there's also a couple of Phillips head screws on the underside here, and there's some snaps on the back we have to pop off. As you can see, actually, some of it's already seemed to come off, so this should be pretty easy. So yeah, let me go grab a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver, and we should be able to get this off pretty quickly. When you do this, you need to make sure that these rails are slid back so that these tabs are aligned with this bolt right here, because if you don't do that, you won't be able to get access to the screw here, because you can only move this rail when it's in the car. You're having to like take the seat back to the car, and it's just a nightmare. Like I literally just had to do that. So yeah, don't do what I did. If you work on anything ever, I recommend you get one of these magnetic parts trays. I got that one from Harbor Freight. I love it. You won't regret buying one of those. So there we go. There's that piece off. Now we got to work on this guy. Removing this panel is a little bit more involved. There's a screw back here. There's a bunch of snaps along this underside here that you have to be careful with, and especially, you know, this seat is nearly 20 years old at this point. Actually, it's more than, it's 21 years old. I can legally drink. So you need to be really, really careful when you pull the plastic apart. We have to pull these two switch covers off, and there's a couple of screws. There's one here, and I think there might be one up there. So yeah, let's keep at it. On the inside of this panel, there's a little connector for the lumbar control. All you need is a screwdriver just to pop down the tab and pull it out. There we go, and the panel comes off. The next course of action is to remove the seat position control module or board or whatever this is. You don't have to do this, however, it will free up a lot more room to work, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. It's still, it looks like I think it's at least 3 Phillips head screws. They're pulling a sneaky on you, but there's one that's hidden right up top here on the inside cushion basically, but if you have a long enough bit, you should be able to reach it without a problem. Okay, module is out, and then we take a screwdriver, pop that out. Oh, screw ran away from me. That's the module removed. This was the side that was up close and personal with the center console, can't you tell? This side, we have to remove the seatbelt latch, and then we also have to remove this plastic panel. It goes all the way up here onto this other side with a Phillips screw, and there's 2 Phillips screws down here. Since just about every single bolt in this car is a 14mm, I'm going to be assuming that this is a 14mm. And yeah, look at that, it is. Remember my tip from my last video, install screws and nuts and bolts back wherever you can so you don't lose them. Oh, look at that, a quarter, I'm rich. Oh dear, that went all at once. And then we gotta, God, this thing is disgusting. And then we gotta, this little clip here for the seatbelt wire, push that guy in with a screwdriver. There are just 2 tabs on either side, and you can easily push it in with a screwdriver. I bet some pliers would also make this a little bit easier, but a screwdriver works just fine. Got the seat flipped upside down, and there are 4 bolts in total holding the cushion in. There is one right here, and it's probably a 14mm if I had to guess. And then there's, kind of hard to see, but there are 2 bolts right, there's one right there, and there's another one over there, and then this one over here matching that side. So gonna pop these off and then the cushion should just come right off. After some quick checking, these are actually 12 millimeter. It looks like we're going to have to unclip all of these, just a bunch of zip ties, so I'm gonna get some cutters and shouldn't be too hard. Got the seat flipped back over after unplugging all those stuff, and I think there's still some stuff attached to it, but we'll kind of figure out what that is once we pull the cushion off. Okay. What's connected still? It looks like that, which I just broke off. We're gonna have to fix that later. All right. After accidentally destroying a whole bunch of old plastic connectors, we finally have the cushion completely detached from the seat frame. So we're going to put this away for now and only focus on the seat cushion. Alrighty, now that we have the cushion all on the table here, we have to remove this cover. It's pretty easy. The only thing you have to do is remove these plastic little clip things. Pretty easy to do. You just have to find the edge and kind of pry them away here with some needle nose pliers. There's a bunch of them around the edge here, and then this side here is held in by a plastic clip. Pull these metal tabs away, and then you gotta, kind of pop it around, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So right now we're just going to get these copper clips out of the way. Okay, so we got the clips off. They're all over here, and actually they are magnetic. So they're copper plated or something, but they're definitely not copper. So see these metal things here? We're going to have to save these. We're gonna have to pull these out, but we'll do that in a couple of minutes. The next thing we have to do is pull these tabs back, which I'm pretty sure you can just do, with your hand, and then pop this plastic piece out, like down and out, and flip it over. And then when we do that, this cover should come off completely. Actually, one thing that I forgot to mention is this seat is equipped with seat heaters, and the heating coils are actually in the seat part. I looked everywhere online and I could not find anywhere where they had seat covers that had the seat heater function into them. I'm guessing you can get them from Lexus. However, I couldn't really find too much about that. And even if you could get it from Lexus, I really was not about to pay the Lexus prices. Gonna be losing seat heater functionality. It's not a huge deal. I live in California, so it's not like it gets super duper cold, but when you are doing that, you're gonna have to keep that in mind that you're probably going to lose your seat heater functionality. You probably could get some sort of aftermarket thing where you could slide it between the cover and the cushion, but I personally am not going to be doing that, so is what it is. Let's continue on. Okay, now that we have the cover pulled back, we can see the cushion that's looking a little gross, but I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. And the cushion is attached to the seat. Kind of hard to see with these metal bars and going through this little sleeve thing. Because I have no plan on reusing this cover, I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and just cut this out. It'll just make the removal a little bit easier. You don't have to do that. You can take the little metal loop that you see right there by my finger. You can take that and you can pull it out. It's a little bit annoying, but you can do it. However, just to keep things simple, I am going to be cutting it out with an X-Acto knife. Okay, so I got both sides done and peeled back, and now there's one very similar to the sides that is in the middle. So we just got to cut that out, and the cover should be completely free. All right, we got the cushion fully removed. Just got to disconnect the wires right there, and we should be all ready to put the new cover on. Okay, just so that you get a slightly better look at what's going on, there's this rod right here that's held in by this metal clip. Then behind it, there's a little piece of metal that's embedded into the foam. You can pull these out and throw them away. You don't really need to hold on to these. Well, actually, it might depend on the seat cover that you get. Mine, I'm not going to use them because, as you can see, there's a little piece right here that is acting as the metal already in the tab. And the only thing that I'm going to have to do is cutting holes in this little area right here for the metal clips to go through. Like I said before, this is a really time-consuming part of the job, so I'm gonna set down the camera and just get to it and cut back to it when I'm ready to put the seat cushion back in. Okay, so I got all the metal pins pulled out, and now I have the new seat cover. The way that we're going to go about this is we're going to start from the middle and work our way out. I'm not really gonna film this because there isn't really a good way to, but what we're going to be doing is I'm gonna be taking one of these little metal clips here. I'm going to be lining up the seat cover the best that I can, and then I'm going to make a hole with my utility knife right above the seam here. And then I'm going to run the clip through there, push it around the loop way down into the chair like I showed you in the video earlier, and then we're gonna close it up the best I can with pliers. This is gonna be really tedious. It's not gonna be a whole lot of fun. There isn't really a whole lot to film here. The clearances are basically impossible to get a camera to properly film, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, but that's the best way to do it. We're gonna start here, then we're gonna go this side, then this side, and then we're gonna wrap it around and close up on the bottom and then put the seat back together. So let's get to it. So we got both sides attached in the center and on the sides here. The cushion's looking like it's fitting pretty good. The next thing we have to do is flip the cushion over, and there's a couple of things that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to cut holes right above here, basically between the wire and the seam, so that we can hook this part of the cushion right here. We're also going to need to cut a hole right here for where the bolt is going to go, where it fastens into the frame of the seat. This plastic piece has to be flipped around and over. This one looks like it might be very, very difficult, so I might be doing something different over here. I'm not really too sure yet. I might do something a little janky, but this is the passenger seat, so should be fine. We also have to take this tab here, fold it over, and we have to take one of these wires, slide it through here, and attach it with these metal clips here. Oh, and in case you're wondering what this wire is the occupancy sensor wire. So it detects basically if somebody's sitting in the seat, whether or not the airbag will go off. Alrighty, so let's finish this seat cushion up here. I mostly have the cushion wrapped around now. We have it hooked around this plastic piece, hooked around the metal side. We have it hooked here on this side. And I actually ran into an issue that I don't think I'll be able to fix. On this side here, you can see there's this little lip here that's actually supposed to hook all the way around so that this piece is flipped up. However, there doesn't seem to be enough cushion over the top here, or enough of the cover for me to flip it over. And it's not like the cushion is too far forward, because there's barely enough room on this side. As you can see, the cushion is coming up, you know, and isn't covered by the cover all the way. So I don't really think there's anything that I can do about that. There are a couple of things I actually have thought about doing. I might drill a hole in the metal here and run a few zip ties through it, just so that it doesn't pop up. I actually am probably, since I have the cushion out, I'm probably gonna do that anyway. And then back here, I'm just gonna leave it the way that it is. It's not that too big of a deal. And then here I have the hole cut for the bolt. Installing it shouldn't be too difficult. So I'm gonna go drill the holes for this and run some zip ties through it. And once we do that, all I have to do is install the cushion back into the seat and we'll be done. I guess what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to drill holes in the metal frame here, run zip ties through this so that it doesn't pop up later. Cut a hole in the other side for the bolt that mounts into the frame, and then we just put the cushion back into the main seat assembly, and then we'll be all good to go. I apologize if this video is suddenly sort of off track. A few minutes after recording that last clip, the power went out, and then short after that, a tree fell in my neighbor's house, and anyway, it's 2 days later. So finally coming back to this, trying to sort of regain my bearings here in what I was doing. What I was doing was I was attaching the bottom of the seat cushion with zip ties so it doesn't come out. I got started on this side, so I'm gonna run a zip tie through here, and on this last one, I'll show you what I did. Okay, so got the second one in, and then I'm gonna show you how I did the last one here. Also, I apologize for any background noises. It's cold in here, and I have a space heater going. I'm using a step bit because it doesn't want to walk very much, and I'm drilling a hole right under this slot here. I'm pretty sure this is like a clip or something, but anyway, it's gonna have a zip tie going through it. All right, We drilled the hole here, and now we're going to drill a hole through the plastic of the chair. Alrighty, so everything's attached the best we can. Doesn't look perfect. That's okay. It really doesn't need to be. If you want to make it look perfect, great, but I knew that I'd be in a whole mess of hurt for doing that. And also, it's gonna be fine. It's the passenger side. It isn't used nearly as much as the driver's side, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm already married, so it's not like I'm trying to impress anybody. Let's go put this into the seat, and then I get to put it in the car. So now for the fun part. You have to align the seat with these holes here, and then this hole right there. Actually, it's easier to see right over there. The best way that I found to do it is attach the bolts on the back here and right here. Line them up best you can, and these guys can move around. So attach them first, and then you're gonna have a lot more limited mobility once the cushion is on it, but you can still move it around a little bit, and you should be able to align them just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna set the camera back on the tripod. Hopefully we should get this all fixed up in no time. My camera battery is about to die, so I'm gonna make this quick. I made all of the bolt connections up where they're supposed to be. I am connecting up all of the wires back up to the bottom of the seat. I did break some of the clips. Not great, but that's okay. What you can just do is you can just reconnect them up with zip ties. It really doesn't need to be anything crazy. Okay, so the next thing that I have to do is put the plastic back on, and then we're all done, and I can go put this back in the car, which will be awesome because I haven't been able to drive my car for the last 3 days. So what I actually got to do before I put the plastic on is I got to install the seat buckle. Even when you tighten it, it should move around a little bit. I know that seems weird. Trust me, that's the way it's supposed to be. So now I can go ahead and put all the plastic pieces on. I'm kind of going to skimp over this because it's basically how I took it off earlier in reverse. Going to start with this guy and work our way around. All right, so we are essentially done. The plastic's back on, cover is on, looks great, feels great. The effect is actually more dramatic on camera, I noticed, but yes, these are technically 2 different shades. However, the effect is not nearly as dramatic in real life. That's totally okay, doesn't bother me. It looks a lot better than the seat covers that were on it before. I don't really know when I'm gonna be detailing my Lexus. I know I said that in the previous video that I'd be doing it, but the weather just has not been agreeing with that. It's just too wet and rainy off and on for the last couple of weeks, so it's just not gonna happen. Probably have to wait for warmer weather. However, there is plenty left to be done on my Lexus, on some other projects that I have coming up, so there is plenty of content that I have planned to pump out. Very excited for what the future holds, so thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.